Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. I'm Ellen March and this is So What with Sulky. Today we're going to be talking about some fun holiday decor projects, and we've got stabilizer, rolls, and bolts on sale. So both of these projects have a little bit of machine embroidery embellishments. So you can grab up some rolls and bolts of stabilizer and prepare yourself for the coming holidays and all of the projects you're going to create for those. But first, I wanted to share with you, I spent the weekend finishing Halloween costumes. Yay, yay for me. No matter how early I start on those, it still seems to be, the night before, and I'm still hand sewing little elements and things like that. So I am rather proud of myself for being, what is it, 10, 11 days ahead of the game. So my kids chose some really fun costumes this year, so I thought I would share one of them. One of my daughters wanted to be a dog, so I whipped up this cute little hat for her to wear, and then she's just going to wear basically a brown sweatsuit with it, and then she's got a little tail to match out of this brown fleece. So I got the pattern for that guy from this book, which I checked to see if it was still in print, Fleece Hat Friends, and I believe you can still get it in some fashion, whether it's electronic or not, but these have some great little hat ideas, and then you can create a whole costume around it. So that's where this little guy came from. And I used the Sulky 12-weight cotton petites for all the little hand done embellishments. So, the little freckles and sewing on the eyes and making the little plushy nose. And of course I used Sulky, where is it? 50-weight cotton thread for the construction of this little guy. So anyways, exciting stuff. My son's going to be a pirate. That was rather easy. And my other daughter is going to be a cheerleader. So I will have cute photos to share once Halloween is over. And hopefully they will still wear their costumes for a little while and have some fun dressing up with them. Anyway, let's get to the task at hand, which is a very cute holiday pillow that you can create now and have ready to go when you swap out your decor for the holidays. So this is the little guy. Very cute. You can create this in whatever size you like. You can make a large one. You can make it even smaller than this. I even thought it would be cute to add a little ribbon hanger to this, and you could put it on your door, and you don't have to stuff it as much, and it can be like a little wall hanging, something like that. So there are lots of ideas that you can use these little stocking designs with, or for rather. And the design is our freebie for this month. So you can download the embroidery design as well as the full instructions to make this pillow. And there's actually a small size version and a large size version, and they have a little bit different embellishments. The large size features some pom-pom trim, because yes, I'm still into the pom-pom trim. I hope you guys are too. Maybe I'll get over it at some point, but I'm really loving it right now. So large pillow has pom-pom trim, and then the small pillow has these cute little ribbons. And I will go over how to create the embroidery design because it features two different decorative sulky threads. So you can see a little bit of sparkle along the edge of the stocking, and that is our 30-weight Poly Star. I keep talking about this Poly Star thread because it is just such a great embellishment thread for our glitzy holidays, like, Halloween when we want to have a little bit of a sparkle, and, even Thanksgiving when we want to have a little bit of, glam at our table. And, you know, especially at Christmas when we need a little bit of glitter running through everything we create. So it's very easy to sew, it's very easy to embroider with, and this design was digitized for that 30 weight thread along the outside edge of that applique, and then up top we're getting a faux fur effect, like a stocking with a fur cuff. We're getting that faux fur effect with the 12 weight sulky filaine. So the filaine thread is what makes that cool effect that we're going to brush out and fluff up to kind of mimic that look of fur. So not only do we have sparkle, but we also have that fur effect, and you can see how fluffy it gets on those cute little stockings. So let me show you how it all comes together. Now, first and foremost, I mentioned the stabilizer sale. So 30% off of rolls and bolts of stabilizer. First thing you need to do is hoop up some stabilizer. All right, so we've got the Sulky Sticky Plus here, which is what I like to use for hoopless embroidery. Now, this pillow is made from a really nice quality wool felt, and it's from some people at the Felt Pod, and I link right to it in the blog post that goes with this free project. It's also on the free project page, so you can see where to get that really great felt. But we don't want to hoop it because the felt might get marred in the hooping process, meaning that once we take it out of the hoop, it may not recover from those hoop marks. We call that hoop burn. It's, you know, burnt into the fabric, meaning we can't get it out of there. So to circumvent that, we are not going to hoop the felt. We are going to hoop only the stabilizer, and then we're going to place the felt on top of the sticky surface of the stabilizer. So you'll hoop the stabilizer with the paper side facing up. All right, now in this photo, I am showing how to score the inside, along the inside ring of the inner hoop, so that we can peel away that paper backing and reveal the sticky adhesive. Now, if you've ever done this, you will know that sometimes if you press a little too hard using your pin, it can go through all layers, and all of a sudden your stabilizer is useless because you have scored through both layers and now you just have a hole in your hoop. So I discovered this tool, and lo and behold, it has always been on the Sulky site for sale. I just feel so dumb for not even knowing that it existed and not being able to take advantage of it all this time. Now, I'm struggling a bit because it comes in this little container and the tip isn't coming out. But I wanted to show you, it does come with this red protective tip. All right, so it is this fun little tool here, and you can see the tip is pointed, right? You use this instead of your pin to score inside of your hoop and remove that paper backing. Now, if you really got crazy and you were really, going hard using this tool, you could also pierce through both layers. But it is so easy to have a nice light hand and score the inner hoop or along that inner hoop ring and remove that paper backing. So I highly suggest you grab one of these inexpensive little tools to just save you that frustration. And you know what? When there is the right tool for the job, why not get it and make our lives easier, right? So if you like using the pin or the pen, either one, by all means, go for it. But if you have struggled in the past, there's my little safety tip. If you've struggled in the past, or if you want the right tool for the job, grab this little guy. It'll make these hoopless embroideries just so much easier and, foolproof, really. All right, so that's my spiel on that because I just discovered it and I had to share it with you. If you haven't browsed the Sulky site under the tools, there might just be a fun tool that's perfect for the job at hand. All right, so we've hooped our stabilizer. We have scored the paper within the inner hoop ring to reveal that sticky surface. And then you're going to place your felt right over the top of that stabilizer, securing it in the hoop. All right, you can see how the felt is not hooped at all. It looks like it's just laying on top of that stabilizer. Well, it is secured by that sticky backing. All right. And I just centered mine because I used a larger piece of felt, and these are actually the photos that I took of the larger pillow, which I'll show you in a second. All right, so you will embroider your design. Now, the first step of the embroidery is to do that applique stitch, right? The center of our stocking is applique fabric. So you'll want to find some fun fabrics, whatever you want your stockings to look like, and that's going to be your applique fabric. So your first stitch is going to be the placement line for your applique, so you know where to put your applique pieces. Then you will put that piece over that stitching line to make sure that your fabric is completely covering those stitches. If you're a little bit inside along one edge, there's just no way to recover from that. I like to use the KK2000, which is our temporary spray adhesive, to make sure there's no shifting of my applique fabric. So that's really, really helpful when you're doing machine embroidered appliques, to just use a very fine mist of the KK2000, and if it's not positioned properly, you can just easily remove it and replace it wherever it needs to go to make sure that those stitches are covered completely. Then you'll stitch the next stop, the next color stop, which really it's the same color, it's just that's the terminology. The next color stop will be your tacking stitch. Now the tacking stitch secures that fabric to the felt. Now we've got to trim away our applique, and you want to use applique scissors. Now an applique scissor, as you can see, has this little duck bill side to the scissors. That allows you to cut as close as you can to your tacking stitch as possible. You want to cut super, super close so that when you get to color stop 3, which is your satin stitch, which is your beauty stitch that secures everything and makes it look really nice and conceals all those raw edges, you're going to ensure that your satin stitch covers all of that cut fabric edge. That's why these scissors are super helpful with machine embroidered appliques. So after that is cut, you'll do your satin stitch edging, and you can see here I've cut as close as I can to the edge of that fabric without cutting through my tacking stitches. And then it's going to do the satin stitch edge. Now what I find helpful when I'm doing this process is to have a lint roller nearby. You can see a little bit of frayed edge from when I cut away that cotton fabric. You can just swipe your lint roller over the top of that before you get to your satin stitch color stop. I just find that really helpful if you do have those little frayed edges that come off of the side. All right, so after the satin stitch is when we need to swap our thread for the sulky filane. And someone is asking, what bobbin thread are we using? We are using the sulky 60 weight bobbin thread. Okay, you want to use the bobbin thread that most closely relates in color to your top thread. Now I just used a white bobbin thread because I'm using the white filane thread. When you use the 60 weight bobbin thread, it pairs really nicely with that heavy weight 12 weight filane, and it just ensures that you'll have a nice balanced stitch. You do not want to use filane in the bobbin as well. It will be too thick for your needle to penetrate, and you'll have messes and birds' nests all over the place. You want that really fine bobbin thread when you're working with the filane. So some other adjustments to consider when you thread your machine with the filane. You need to go up a size in your needle, okay? We recommend a 116 top stitch or titanium needle. And that ensures that the hole in the needle is large enough to accommodate the thickness of the thread, okay? If it's not large enough, your thread is going to have friction as it tries to pass through that hole, and it's going to break. All right, so we don't want that. Make sure that your needle is large enough, so change that first. Then you're going to make a few machine adjustments. You want to lower the machine speed. Okay, your embroidery machine is already going to stitch at really, really high speeds, right? That's what we love about it. You know, we can knock out an embroidery design in no time. Well, we want to go at least halfway, if not all the way down as far as speed goes. You want the less friction that the thread is under, the less stress that it's under while it's traveling through the needle, the better. And that's why we slow our machine down, okay? We also want to turn off that auto thread cutter. So if you have this option with your machine, you want to turn it off. Why is that? That's because at the beginning of and end of your stitches, the machine is actually pulling your top thread to the underside and then cutting it off, tying it off, sometimes with a knot. And that is going to create more density for your needle to have to penetrate and could result in thread breakage while you are sewing out the design. I have heard from people, particularly people with brother machines, that their stitch out quality is better if they leave this option on. So keep that in mind. I highly suggest you do a test stitch out of this design. It's free. It comes with our free project this month, so you can download the design in the format that you need for your machine and definitely do a test stitch out first. When you do that test stitch out, if you happen to have a brother machine, try it both ways and see if it works better for you to have the auto thread cutter on. But in my experience, I use a Husqvarna Viking Designer Applique 2. I have also tried this on a just traditional designer Applique, and let me know how your experience is because we're always trying to fine-tune our instructions for people who have different machine brands, and your experience might just be different. So, but in my experience, I find it's a great idea to turn this off. Anytime you can lower the density and make sure that your needle is going to be able to pass through all of the layers of stabilizer, of wool felt, and of all of that stitching, we're going to do that. So, all right, once we have all of those considerations met, we're going to stitch the filane cuff of the stocking. And you can see just how dense that thread is, and it really creates this awesome texture and thread effect for this design. Once we have gotten to that stage, the design is complete. So you can remove your stabilizer from the hoop and then gently tear away the stabilizer beyond the edge of the design. Now comes the fun part. We get to fluff up those fibers using our filane wire brush. And you can see these bristles are very abrasive. They're wire. I mean, it's not like a toothbrush, let's say. Now, I have in the past, people have said they've used a hard toothbrush, and that's going to work okay, but this really fluffs up those fibers. You can see the difference between this picture, and oops, sorry, I had them out of order. And here I go again, getting everything out of order. Hold please. Okay, you can see the difference between that and my finished design. Hopefully you can see that. How instead of looking like we've got 3 rows of satin stitches, it looks like one piece of faux fur. It really is so cool. So what I do is I brush in one direction or the other in the direction of the stitches, and you can also kind of go back and forth and then away in that direction as well with your brush, and just brush away until you get the desired effect that you want, until you want, you know, how furry do you want it to look. All right, so once you've done that, you can go and create whatever it is you're creating. Pillow, apron, wall hanging, whatever it is that you're creating with your stocking. Now, in the free project download, you will get the full instructions for how to arrange the stockings and combine more stitch outs into one hooping, which is what I did here. So I was able to combine all 4 into one hooping and stitch all the polystar at once, do all my appliques at once, then stitch all of my filaine cuffs at once by combining the design or arranging all 4 and then combining the design as one on the machine screen. Now, if you're going to add the little cute little ribbons, you want to make sure to add those before you do the filaine stitching. That way your ribbon gets caught in that stitching and you don't have any raw end of your ribbon showing. So before you switch your machine over to accepting that filaine thread, you will add that ribbon. Now, what I did was I just used another shot of the KK2000 to place my ribbon end before I sewed the filaine. So I just gave it the end a light little mist, put it where I wanted it to go, and then I stitched my filaine stitches. Now, keep in mind, you want to have your ribbon long enough to where you can create these cute little bows afterwards. So make sure to give yourself just some extra room. Make your ribbon piece extra long. You can always trim it later, but if you come up short, then here we've got too short of a ribbon. You could always recover from that by creating your bows separately and then kind of just hand sewing them in place. But just give yourself some extra. It can't hurt. Ribbon is relatively inexpensive, especially if you buy a whole spool of it. You'll have plenty for this. All right, so then once we have all 4 of our stockings stitched out, you can see my extra long ribbons that I have there. So at this point, again, you get to fluff up your filaine. And I should mention, you want to be really careful when you're working with something like a felted wool or a textured fabric. You want to make sure to keep your wire brush away from the fibers of the fabric when you're brushing it out. You don't want to accidentally brush some of your fabric and, cause yourself to have some issues there. So just keep that in mind. Keep your filaine wire brush on only the thread itself. All right, so there we have that brushed out. And there you can see my finished pillow in some nice lighting that really shows off the effect that you can get with that filaine thread. Someone is asking what needle again? The needle that you want to use for filaine is a 116 top stitch or titanium needle. And we actually have, a needle that is a titanium top stitch needle. And the reason I recommend the titanium is because it's so strong. And, you know, like I said, you're going through a layer of stabilizer, a layer of felted wool, which is already pretty heavy weight, the bobbin thread stitching, which is all that underlay you need to support your stitching on the right side, and then your 12 weight filane. So a titanium needle is really gonna just do the job of penetrating through all those layers and making a beautiful stitch out. So, oops, sorry, I keep going back to that picture for some reason. I must really like it. And there's that one. Okay, now here we go. So here's my little small pillow, and then I also made a large pillow. Now I told you I used some really cute pom-pom fringe for that one. You could add that to your small pillow. I mean, you can do whatever you really want here, but I just wanted to show two different styles of using that cute little stocking design. And I also wanted to show that we're giving it to you in two sizes. So you can get the large stocking design or the small stocking design. And you know, the large one looks great on the larger pillow. The small one looks great on the small pillow. So there you have it. That is the free project, and you can download it right from the description of today's post. I linked directly to where you can grab that on our free projects page. And like I said, it also comes with the stocking embroidery design. So I hope you enjoy that, and let me know what you're going to create with that cute embroidery design, because we all need inspiration for how to get the most out of that. So, all right, another thing I wanted to share with you is our winter Pinnacle table runner. And I like so many things about this table runner. First, it's pieced using a really cool ruler that you can use for multiple projects. It's just a great quilting ruler template to add to your sewing arsenal, if you will. And secondly, it features sulky original metallic thread. Love that. Thirdly, it's not made in the traditional holiday colors, okay, of the whole red and green type deal. It is in sort of shades of blue. It features snowflakes, it features cute woodland animals, and it's something you can decorate with now, and it will take you through all of winter. And don't we just love that, right? So it might even work to go with some Hanukkah decor because of the light blues and snowflakes and silvers and things like that. So let me just show that to you. All right, so this is our winter Pinnacle table runner, and this is available in a full kit. And these fabrics are really high quality fabrics from Art Gallery Fabrics. And like I said, it features these great cute little winter prints. So you create all of these blocks using this fun ruler that I have. Let me just show you another angle of the table runner so you can see just the cute little prints, and there's a little bit pinks in there and some snowflakes, and you can see I've embroidered it with these metallic snowflakes. Here is one a little bit closer up. Now, I mean, using metallic thread for embroidery, yes, you can. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, you can. You need to use a 90-14 needle for your embroidery, and slow your machine down again when you're using the metallic thread. If you have additional issues sewing with it, you can try using some sewer's aid. This is available at sulky.com. You can put a little tiny dab on the needle where the thread is going to pass through, and that just gives it a little bit of lubrication so that when the friction and the heat that's produced from the high-speed embroidery is happening, this protects your needle and the thread. You can even put it on a little strand of thread to get it started when you are threading the needle. You can also use a thread director. I have one of those always close by, and if I can just find the right spot for it, here we go. A thread director is this little contraption. Now, normally when you thread your needle, depending on your machine brand, again, your thread's going up and down, or it's going this way. Either way, the thread is coming off of the spool, right? And it could be twisting on its way to the needle. All those twists, especially at a high speed, are ultimately going to end up breaking the thread because you've got all this tension built up on the thread, and after a really high speed embroidery, maybe half the way through, it's going to be so tight. Maybe pull some bobbin thread up to the right side and snap. That is because of how it is winding off of the spool. Now, when you use this guy, you just undo these little screws, put this right here onto your machine. Can you see that? Now the spool, I'll just use an empty spool to show you. Now your spool, your thread, is coming off the spool facing the needle, basically. So instead of going this way toward the needle, it's going this way toward the needle, and you will not have the twisting that occurs coming off of this side of the needle. It will be headed to your needle nice and straight. So this eliminates all that twisting and buildup and pressure and tension that you would have on your metallic thread. I highly suggest grabbing one of these if you're going to do a bunch of metallic snowflakes like on the Pinnacle table runner. So this table runner was designed by Vanessa Vargas Wilson, otherwise known as the Crafty Gemini. And we did a webinar with her where she showed how to use her fancy dancy ruler, she calls it the slicer, to create the blocks for the table runner. Now, you can use this and create a whole quilt. You can use this and create a larger table runner, a smaller table runner. You can arrange your blocks in different ways to create different effects. So if you don't want to have the sort of diamond look to your table runner, you can alternate them and move them in different ways to create different looks. And in the webinar, she shows you the different combinations you can do for your piecing to create these different looks. But in effect, you're using a 5-inch charm square, 5 inches of fabric, and creating all these triangles and these fun shapes, and then kind of rearranging them to create your blocks using all the different colors from the charm square bundle. All right, so it ends up coming together rather quickly once you have done all of your cutting, and I highly suggest grabbing up this ruler. It just makes quick work of it. That's why we included it in the kit. So in the kit, you'll get your embroidery needles, you'll get the slicer, you get 10 spools of sulky thread, and with this bundle of 10 spools comes all those snowflake designs that you can use. Plus, you'll get some more fun Christmas-themed designs that you can use for other projects. So you can see the thread palette actually comes in those traditional holiday colors of your reds, your greens, your golds, and we've got a black in there for you, so that you can stitch out all the designs that come with that thread palette. But what I used for this was all the silvers that you can see. There's a silver metallic, silver hollow shimmer, so you can really have fun stitching out those snowflakes. It also comes with some Tear Easy stabilizer, which will allow you to create all of those embroideries. Now, I used Tear Easy instead of the Sticky Plus, but you can also do hoopless embroidery for this if you want by using the Tear Easy and then sticking it in place with the KK2000, all right? But in this case, since these fabrics are quilting cottons, you can definitely hoop those with the Tear Easy and have a great stitch out, and then tear the stabilizer completely away beyond the design perimeter and have no trace of it at all. You can add additional quilting to this. You can quilt in the ditch of all of your other pieced seams if you want, and do your quilt sandwich and all that. You can quilt more snowflakes around your cute little silver snowflakes. You can really have fun with this project, and I mean, most of all, I just absolutely love this fabric collection. So I hope you do too. I think it's just so, so pretty. So grab that up. It's a wonderful kit that includes everything you need, including that great ruler. So I think you guys will really have fun with it. All right, so just to recap, today we went over this really cute holiday pillow. Ooh, I almost forgot. We do have a giveaway today. Of course we have a giveaway today. For all of you who are commenting, and there's a lot of you, thank you so much. I love hearing from you, and I will be answering all of those questions after today's live event. But I digress. The winner today, among all of you who are commenting, liking, sharing, engaging with the post, I will choose one person to win, and I'm looking for it now. You will get the, sorry, I can't find it. You will get one of the Sulky Christmas Machine Embroidery palettes. So that comes with 10 spools of Sulky rayon and metallic thread, and it also comes with a bunch of holiday embroideries. So that is valued at $39.99. So a great, great giveaway that we have today. So bring on those questions, and I will be choosing from the comments, the likes, the shares, all that good stuff. And one of you could be a lucky winner. Now, that brings me to, in the month of September, we had a National Sewing Month sweepstakes. We had a package valued at $2,100 and some change. It was such a great giveaway, and so many of you reached out to me saying, wow, thanks for the opportunity to win. This is awesome. There was a serger, an amber air threader serger from Husqvarna Viking. Love them. There was scissors and a rotary cutter from Havells. There was a fat quarter bundle of awesome brand new fabrics from Cotton and Steel. And of course, tons of Sulky product, okay, tons. The Sewist Stabilizer assortment, which included our most popular stabilizer rolls for general sewing. That's right, stabilizer isn't just for machine embroidery. You can use it to help your quilting, you can use it in garment sewing, you can use it in general crafts, anytime where you need to make sure your fabric isn't rippling, shifting, stretching, warping, anything under the presser foot, use some stabilizer. You know, that's what it's there for, and it's really, I mean, it almost feels like a cheat because you're using this product that then can just disappear after you're done sewing. If you go with a water-soluble or tear-away variety, there will be no trace of it when your sewing is complete. So, you know, let's use these things that help us sew better and sew faster and, you know, sew with confidence, really. Again, I wanted to mention my cute little tool. I hope you guys take advantage of this. The link to it is in the description of today's post. This is this cute little, it looks like a pen, but it's got this great tip to it so you can do your hoopless embroidery. So while our stabilizer rolls and bolts are on sale, grab up a ton of that Sticky Plus. I use it all the time in my demos. I use it all the time. It's pretty much my go-to stabilizer when I can't hoop something or when I want perfect placement. Because when you want perfect placement, you can mark where your embroidery design is going to go on your fabric, and then you can center your fabric over that stabilizer that's already in the hoop and make sure that it's going to be in the right place. Then you can use the based in the hoop function, and if you have a machine that has a camera on it and will show you where it needs to be, or you can use these little snowman stickers, I call them, if you happen to have those, or if you have that built into your machine package. There's all kinds of placement tools, but at the end of the day, I find that Sulky Sticky Plus is really the only tool I need for perfect placement, because I can move and adjust and get my fabric in the right place that I need it to be without having to take it out of the hoop, reposition it, rehoop it, and try it again. It's a simple matter of lifting it off of the sticky surface and putting it back down. So when placement is really important, that is my go-to stabilizer. So grab that up, get a bolt of it, why not? It's on sale, and make sure that you grab one of these tools to go along with it, because it'll really be a lifesaver when you are trying to remove that paper backing from your adhesive stabilizers. So that's my aha moment for today's So What. And yes, someone just asked, where do I find that again? I linked to it in the description of today's post. You might have to click see more when you're looking at the description, and then that'll populate all of the links for everything I talked about today. So thank you everybody for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the projects that I went over today. And I want to see all of your holiday makes and all of your Halloween makes as well. So if you're making a costume for yourself or for somebody else, please tag us in your social media posts if you are posting pictures of your creations. We want to see what you create, and we want to share it out as well. So you can tag us in the post. You can also use the hashtag #SewBetterWithSulky, and we'll be able to easily find you. So again, thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and enjoy all of those holiday projects that you can make with our free fur stocking embroidery design. Thanks, and I'll see you guys next time.